damn it, Steve.
According to YouTube's terms of service, you shouldn't say foul language in the first 30 seconds.
Fuck off.
Fuck you, Steve Alcorn.
Just saying.
You fucking miserable cunt.
You open the show with foul language. That's not how that works.
Jesus Christ, you cock-sucking fucking asshole.
The intro has it within like the first 5 seconds.
Steve, I don't give a shit anymore about the fucking language.
I just thought you might want to be notified.
I don't
He
give
knows.
a shit. Like, I you know how many times? Fucking, that was one of Ryan Redding's big things. Oh, well, if you guys would calm down on the language.
In the conceptual phase of the show, the entire community told Chris, man, you really need to cut back on the language. Right. And Chris has steadily told everybody to fuck off ever since. Like, I've brought it up several times. He tells me to fuck off. Like, the language is part of the show.
I'll never forget when I did the Meldrum foot fetish parody video. Like, freaking people were like, you can't go after Meldrum like that. I'm like, I'm not going after him, and I can fucking do anything I want. For Christ's sakes. Oh. Anyhow, starting a little late. Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do that shit. If I had everything fucking up, ready to go, and then we could, Oh. What the? No. What the? You know something? Yeah. My soundboard's acting up.
You're having issues.
Can we hear this? Nope. It's not playing.
Yes, I can hear it.
You can hear it in the
faintly in the background.
Yeah. What the?
Fuck it. Let's not do the show. Oh, I swore.
Forget it. There's no fucking opening because the fucking sound pad won't work tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 92. Goddamn fucking soundboard.
Steve Alcorn, a fine investigator.
I updated my fucking computer the other day.
Well, there was your first mistake.
Fucked up everything. It changed everything. Where my sound chip went, everything. And this is just another fuck up. So fuck you, Microsoft, today. We'll start off with that. But yeah, this is episode 92. The Atlantis of the Sahara, or the desert.
Oh, Sahara. Okay.
Desert, Sahara. It's in the fucking desert, Steve.
You showed me a picture of the desert, and I wasn't sure which one, and then you would never tell me until just now.
Now, is this like the new casino in Vegas, or
what's that?
The Atlantis of the Sahara.
Atlantis of the Sahara, yes.
Actually,
they're going to build it just like that. It's going to be underground.
The Atlantis of the Sands in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Come, spend all your money.
It would work.
Oh, yeah.
It would.
Absolutely.
Sure it would.
Before we dive in tonight, we started a little late because it's somebody's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Matt.
Thanks. 28 today.
Katie, how old are you today, Katie?
You're not
31.
You're not supposed to do that.
What? What am I not supposed to do?
You're not supposed to ask a woman her age.
Steve, fuck off.
I don't mind.
Seriously, eat shit. 31. God, I remember 31. I was still
good for you.
I was like,
I don't.
I was like, yeah, I'm still kind of young. And then I hit like 35, and I was like, I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Then you hit 40 and everything fell apart.
And it's just 40 was fucking. It was anticlimactic. So you had a good birthday though, Katie. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I did. It was great. Lots of fun.
Good.
Until now.
Yeah. And this. But yeah, big happy birthday to Katie today. The other thing I wanted to bring up was I'm on a fucking tear about this whole you're wrong, I'm right. No, I'm right, you're wrong. Back and forth, political, religious. I don't give a fuck what it is. Shut the fuck up. The thing that fucking turned me this week, and fucking, is it Andrew Boucher, a Boucher, a Booch, whatever the fuck his name is.
Boucher.
I don't know. I've spoken to him a few times, and usually I'm on the same page with him. But he made this post about, do you know that the Tornado Alley is exactly the same spot as where the Christian Bible Belt is? And, do you maybe think God's trying to say something? How much more of an asshole could you be? Like, you act like just because someone's a Christian that they deserve to be swept up in a fucking tornado?
The wrath of God.
Seriously? It's just like all this bullshit with, Epstein killed himself in jail. The Clintons, and then the other side, Epstein killed himself in jail. Trump. Fuck off.
Wait a second.
How about we take a look at the bigger problem here? The fact that a guy committed suicide in jail while he was on suicide watch. Forget about all the other bullshit. But it's this fucking
quiet.
I'm right, you're wrong. We have to be fucking enemies. It's gotten to a point now where it's fucking sickening. And Dax Rushlow, lick my fucking sweaty balls. I unfriended you so that I wouldn't have to listen to your bullshit. And today he messages me, "Oh, do you believe now?" It was the Clintons, man.
What is there proof that the Clintons did this?
And that's the thing. If it comes out that they had something to do with it, I'll be the first person to say string them the fuck up.
Yeah. Because
while I tend to be liberal, I tend to criticize liberals.
Yes.
So if you want to be that way, just fucking be willing to fucking criticize equally. Because this fucking man, fuck you. It's gotten to a point where I'm just fuck you. And while we're at it, let's throw stones at another dumb fuck. I appreciate the irony of where Tornado Alley is. Dean, did you not get the point that that's fucking a dumb thing to say?
Oh, God. Dude. I'm not even, I can't. I just can't.
Does that fucking moron you do a show with during the week rot your fucking brain or what?
Who, by the way, claims he lost his ranch to tornadoes twice and was not in Tornado Alley. Was God trying to tell him something? Fuck off. Florida, third highest tornado rate of all the states. Is it in fucking the Bible Belt? No.
Now they'll say, well, God hates immigrants. I mean, fuck.
God hates everybody.
Immigrants, meth, and old people.
Wait a second. If God is destroying, didn't he promise in the Bible that he wouldn't do that sort of thing anymore after the flood and shit? Didn't it say that there? Or am I misinterpreting?
I don't know. I'm sick of it. We're all people on this planet. We can
Natural disasters happen because the planet is bigger than we are.
Yeah.
Like, science is the determining factor. I just think that an all-powerful being that created the entire universe could just do something a bit more creative than masking it with a tornado.
Yeah. It just seems kind of dickish to me.
Just ask the dinosaurs.
It's such horseshit. Just fucking.
That is kind of funny because, like I told you, I started watching the last season of Preacher.
Yeah.
And like at the beginning of the season, it's like they do like this really cheap, cheesy like claymation version of like the dinosaur era, and like God's like hanging out there, and he's like, "Oh, there's my latest creation," and it's like a big dumb dinosaur that takes like a shit, and then he like starts like sniffing his own pile of shit, and God's like, "Don't you do it." Don't do it. And the dinosaur starts eating his own feces. So God just gets pissed off and takes them all out with a meteor shower. It's probably how it went down.
I'm gonna guess.
I gotta catch up on that show. But yeah, and I've had many conversations with you guys off air about this. You know how it's just it's gotten to a point where I'm disgusted with it. It's like, really, like everything that comes out, every little news story where there's anything that has anything to do with Trump or the Democratic side or Republican side and it's all fucking, it's either a conspiracy or it's, look, you gotta see, why are they overlooking this? Shut the fuck up.
But they won't. They're not going to.
Stupid.
Chris.
Why can we not just work together? Why is that a big problem? I don't know. I don't know. I'm baffled. I'm fucking beyond baffled at this point. Because I'm just a rational thinking adult.
No.
Yeah, that's right. My actions last week kind of disprove that.
Oh, a little birdie told me that PETA might be after you.
Yeah. For anybody who missed it, I did a bonus show on Friday with Richard where I told a story about how I tried to save a little bird, and yeah, it didn't go so well. Yeah, kind
Don't
of.
you find it a little ironic that the southern coastal region happens to be where all the hurricanes hit?
Matt's still stuck on that.
Yeah. Don't you find it a little ironic that the West Coast has all those earthquakes?
Yeah.
What about the Northeast with all those blizzards?
Yeah, and I mean,
Ooh.
we're horrible people.
What did I
And
do?
all those assholes that lived in Pompeii.
I know. I'm right there with you. Natural disaster, evil people.
In Canada.
The tsunami had to be horrible people over there. That
No,
was
they were. Yeah.
Oh wow!
I'm guessing.
Fuck. Wow. Steve's like, those dirty Asians.
I didn't say anything like that.
Just remember, Steven, Oriental is no longer a word.
That's right. You're not allowed to say that.
You're not?
No, it's Asian.
But is like Oriental derogatory?
Yes.
Yes.
When did
Steve.
it become derogatory?
The minute you said it.
Where's the Orient?
I don't know. They're oriented somewhere.
I know there was a campaign in Dungeons and Dragons.
What am I allowed to say? Asians. Okay.
They didn't have Kung Fu Panda bears though.
Just stick with person or people and you'll be okay.
But how do you identify where they're
You
from?
don't need to.
But
You don't need to.
why not?
Why?
Good point.
I just think it's you are sincerely fucked up in the head if when a tragic disaster happens that the first thing you go to is, well, those people probably deserved it.
Yeah.
Like why does your brain go to that? What broken thing inside of you makes you have to think that, oh, well, because these people are this way, then it makes sense that they're dying in big numbers because of natural disasters.
Yeah.
Which one of the fucking televangelists came out after 9/11 and was like saying that it's because fucking New York's like Babylon? Which fucking jackass?
Oh, there's always somebody that says it.
Yeah.
The same thing, with Katrina, like just because New Orleans is so corrupt.
And recently it's the Epstein thing and the shootings. Like that was the thing that I got into the argument with Dax about. him saying that the shootings were all orchestrated by the Democratic Party. Really? I mean, really?
I thought they were the party that was against gun ownership and shit.
The Democrats? Oh, well, they're changing their views.
So as long as you can shoot up a school or something, it's okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I now I can't call Orientals Asians or Asians Orientals.
And Dax informed me. And Dax informed me that I can kiss his ring when it all comes out.
All right. Well,
what ring that is?
You should agree to that. You should agree to that. It depends on where.
Is he going to stand in a chair, or do you have to like lay down on the ground?
Probably. And kiss the head of my fucking cock because his head about comes to it. But anyway, yeah, it's an issue. It's fucking an issue. Like, people need to chill the fuck out. Just fucking stop. Can we just have fucking honest discussion and talk to each other and fucking not have to berate and destroy each other? That's all I'm saying. That's it. But yes, I tried to save little baby bird, and in the process wound up getting attacked by its mother and decided to well, I didn't decide, I just kind of did it. Freaked out and threw the baby bird at its mother.
That baby bird survived the incident.
Yes, the bird survived. I mean, I don't know, like, totally. Because ultimately,
only partially survived.
Well, no, listen. I ultimately wanted to get it out of the area it was in, so that it didn't get hit by a car.
Yeah.
And I got it over by the fence when I threw it, so it was, there was an area not in the parking lot area. So, and I didn't hear him anymore for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I bet you didn't.
So,
mission accomplished.
Now up for the baby bird shot put, Chris York.
Oh, you're such an asshole, man. What did that baby bird ever do to you besides,
How is he an asshole? He was trying to help a baby bird. The asshole is the evil mother bird that tried to blind him for his kind act.
Yeah, okay.
I was literally just trying to get it safety, Steve. Just trying to get it safety.
But
how is that a bad thing?
No, the intent was okay.
That's right.
The result was not.
Birds are evil incarnate.
Oh.
Quit defending the bird.
Matt's afraid of him. The movie The Birds scares Matt like Jaws scares Fred Dunn. Fred Dunn, a man who lives nowhere near the ocean, is terrified of sharks.
Well, just for the record.
No, it's funny because I've had this conversation with him before, and fucking, dude, I used to fucking think there were sharks in the freshwater lake I swam.
Yeah.
Matt, yours is even better though. Yours fucking takes the cake.
What?
Fucking the pool thing you told me about.
Yeah. After I saw Jaws, I thought that like some sort of evil scientist or, Bond villain had like hidden a compartment where a trap door would open up in a swimming pool and a shark would swim in.
Because that happens.
Because that happens at apartment complexes.
Completely legitimate.
Because as a child, you don't go, maybe the chlorine would fuck him up.
Yeah. That's totally out of your mind. It's just...
You're just fucking completely irrational. I'm gonna get eaten.
Oh, and then whenever I got older and learned that like bull sharks can survive in fresh water.
Yeah, I told you guys that they were considering putting one in Sebago Lake here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I never looked into it any further, but I know they were talking about it to cut down on the bass population. It's like, Jesus Christ, that's kind of scary.
Dude, they could just like load up a few buses of Southerners, like send them up there. That would accomplish it.
Yeah. Just have a fucking bass tournament on there.
Yeah.
Fucking half of fucking Alabama.
It would work.
I'm with you. I could go for that plan. Just fucking send them up. Gentlemen, I don't know what the fucking bird was, to all you people asking in the chat room. It was a bird.
A former dinosaur.
I'm not a member of the Audubon Society.
It was a carnivore, as all birds are.
Yes. Fucking little bastards. Here I was, just, minding my own business, trying to save them.
Yeah.
You got my baby, you little fuck! It was really imposing. Like, I freaked out at first when it was like coming into my peripheral, but when she launched off the fence, like right at me, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! She's serious.
Fling.
Pretty much. Oh, that little fucker went. I wasn't holding on to him.
Did it fly?
No.
Huh.
Hence it being in the predicament it was in to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Steve.
No, maybe it was just.
Did you not listen to the story?
I did,
fucking
but
told?
maybe it was just enjoying life, sitting there in the parking lot or whatever, and and you had disrupted that. You traumatized that little baby bird.
I'm sure I did. He'll be afraid of humans.
He's probably dead. He probably died of a heart attack or something.
I hope not. I hope he's alive.
You
well.
didn't go check on him afterwards.
No, I didn't want that little bitch to fucking come at me again.
What's she gonna do? She's tiny.
Dude.
It wasn't like
What?
a fucking California condor or
Have you
anything.
not seen the birds?
Yes, I've seen that.
Have you ever been attacked by a bird, Steve?
Yeah. You ever been attacked by a bird? I have.
No, I have not.
Okay, then
Pretty
shut
frightening.
your mouth.
Motherfucker.
They're more pokey. They're not so bitey.
Yeah, and they go for the eyes and the
Well,
soft
yeah.
underbelly.
That makes sense. You disrupted that little tiny bird's way of life.
I did.
Yeah.
I tried to save it, Steve. I just didn't want to get run over by a car.
Failed miserably.
I did. I'm the first one to admit
You
that.
should have just let it get run over by a fucking car.
Maybe it's possible that I didn't fail, though. It's possible that said bird is still alive, doing well. I don't know.
I was
Did you
just
learn
watching a video on Facebook earlier today where somebody posted some kind of like, I don't know, two-legged
Video
demon
of a
bird.
jackass throwing a bird.
Well, no, it was some giant bird that was on a golf course, and they're like, oh, it's so entertained. It learned that the golf balls bounce off the sidewalk. And I'm watching this video, and I'm like, no, that stupid bird thinks those are eggs, and it's trying to bust them open so it can eat other birds' unborn babies. Like, it's not being entertained by a bouncing ball, you idiots. Birds are fucking evil. And so are squirrels.
Squirrels are evil now, too, huh?
Oh, they've always been evil.
Oh, that's a new one.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to go down that rabbit hole some night.
Yeah.
Anyway, while I was on vacation, I had come across a few different things on TV because, like I had said before, I don't watch much regular TV. I don't sit there and flip channels. I watch all streaming stuff, or just watch whatever I want to watch. But I had come across this thing, and they had said it was the way that that this program had described it. It was the Atlantis of the desert or the Sahara or whatever. And I don't think it was this. It's not this structure that we're looking at, or this whatever this is. It was, they had found it because through Google Earth they had found the old trail, the old roads that ran to it, because they could only be seen from space or from high above, and they located this what used to be a settlement or some type of trading town or whatever, And then they started unearthing it, and there's like all kinds of shit there. But I couldn't find that one. Like I searched and searched and searched and searched on the internet, and I couldn't fucking find it. The only thing I could find was about what you're looking at now on the screen, which is known as the Richat structure.
Looks like a crater.
It is not a crater, Steve.
I didn't
If
say
it
it
is
was.
a crater, it is the only crater in existence ever to look like that. So it is not a crater. What they think it is that magma came to the surface, and as it cooled, it cooled into those rings. It's because of the way that it came up and then solidified as it cooled. So it's not the what you see isn't a man-made structure. That is made by geology. And it's cool as hell. I mean, to see that thing from, I don't know, if I zoom out, do you guys see that? Yes, no.
I see. Well, I don't see as much now. Now I can't see it at all. It looks pretty big.
Still see it.
It's 25 miles across.
It's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's a pretty big structure, whatever it is. Now, there are people who think that this was Atlantis because Atlantis was described as having these concentric rings. That's how the city was, which kind of looks. If you look at any drawings or imaginings of what Atlantis or recreations of what Atlantis was, it looks very similar to what you're looking at, but only in shape. But my curiosity question as I was like watching all these different things about this structure was, could they have found this geological thing and then built the city on it using that as their base?
Sure.
How they made the city, which would be really cool and would also fit into the whole, Plato's description of what Atlantis was. But the other thing that I had noticed while I was looking into things in this and looking at Google Earth, and I don't know if I zoom back out, I don't know if you guys can kind of see this the way I see it, but it really kind of looks like the Atlantic Ocean puked on Africa.
Just upchucked right there.
Yeah.
And they say that the sand in the desert is from the ocean. So if there was anything there, it probably was wiped away by whatever had happened, because we all know if you do any digging that the desert in Africa wasn't always that way. It used to be very lush. And then the climate changed in that area and things changed. But there is an assumption or a hypothesis theory out there that the Atlantic Ocean flooded into northern Africa. And if so, it would have just destroyed that city if there was a city there.
Like, is that in a depression? It looks like it's in a depression.
Yes, it is in a depression.
Like a valley.
And the way they described it, Atlantis, it was near the sea. So you would have to imagine that this area had the sea close by, not as far away as it is now. And that they had fresh water within the city in the concentric circles. So, I mean, it's a really interesting thing. And we've talked about Atlantis before, like this, supposed like high-tech civilization people think, or maybe just it was more civilized than other, places at the time. I don't know.
People have explored this area that you're showing on the screen.
Oh, yes. I've seen.
So has anything been found there?
Gentlemen who decided to take the trip there to see this thing. And
Okay, so has anything been found there that would support that there was any civilization
no,
whatsoever?
there's been nothing, as far as I can tell, there's been nothing found to prove that there was any type of civilization there. But there's no real excavation going on either. See, the problem is that area in Africa.
It's in the middle of the fucking desert.
No, it's not that. That's probably the least of the problems. They don't really like people going there. And there's like all this stuff about disputed territories and who's
I
what.
see.
And like the people that go there, they tell them don't go there. Like this is not a good place for you to go. And they're
They got some Mad Max shit going on or something.
I don't know, it could be.
That'd be
It's the
fun.
perfect place for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm assuming that they were never they're not they're never that at this point in time it's we're not going to see any excavation of this anytime soon or any part of this area. But I think if the ocean did flood in, then the entire remnants of that civilization are somewhere west of that spot.
There'd still be something I'm sure to find.
I don't know.
Some sort of evidence that there was man-made structures or something there.
It's possible, but I don't know. And there's arguments for and against it, whether or not that this is or was some type of civilization, if a civilization was here at one point. One thing that one of the guys wanted to point out all the time in one of these videos that I watched, they Plato described that they use these white and red and black bricks to make these structures, and the people today still make these structures with red, white, and black bricks or stones, and I'm just like, 'cause they're fucking there. Like this, and then he's like trying to make the leap that because people today are still making these structures with these colored stones, that this proves that this was going on and still does go on to this day. And I'm like, you are a fucking armchair archaeologist. You fucking jackass.
Well, you're going to use the materials that are available, and the materials that are available just happen to be those colors, I'm guessing.
Right.
Or if you're writing a fictional story,
Yes.
you're going to describe what's being used.
Yeah. And, so I don't know if there's any weight to this being Atlantis. But I mean, the look of it alone begs some questions. Because it looks like, to me, it looks like what you'd expect based on what I've seen of people's renditions of Atlantis. This is what I would expect to see left over. If that makes sense.
But the lava thing also makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think that if anything, they used what was already there.
Well, I mean, the band Starship wrote a song about it.
They did?
Would you care to repeat the lyrics?
On a fucking volcano type
We
thing?
built this city on rock and roll.
On molten lava.
Yes.
Ow! Ow! Ooh, ah, ah.
If you happen to come by something like that in your travels and you need to settle somewhere,
You want me to pick
That'd
it
be
up
a
for you so
fucking-
you can sell it on eBay?
it'd be a fucking cool place, cool looking place to live. I mean, aside from the fact that it's in the
But
middle
what
of the
does it
desert.
look like on the ground to a person just standing there? I mean, it's 25 miles across.
Yeah, it doesn't. From all of the videos that I saw, when the people are on it, you can't tell. It's hard to see. I'm sure, like, if I was there, if I could, like, actually look, it would be a little different. But on video, it's very hard to tell that you're anywhere where you could see this structure from above. You're in it. So I think, like, the center part is easy to see, the circular shape of it, because it's a lot smaller. But the rest of it, you're in it. But very, very cool. I mean, the look of it.
Yeah.
I had never heard of this thing. It's amazing. Almost 6 years we've been doing this show now. We're 7 days. We're a week away
1 week.
from 6 years
Ugh.
on this fucker. and I'd never heard of this fucking thing. No, and which is baffling to me because I watch a lot of stuff on ancient shit and ancient aliens, and I never saw this damn thing.
Are there other structures in nature that like similar to this, the size and all that would support the magma theory?
I think the magma theory is based on geologists that have gone there and looked at it. I don't think there's any other thing on Earth that looks like this that I'm aware of this size.
I tend to think that that's all it is. I don't think there was a civilization there.
You just think it's just something that naturally created, and that's it.
Well, yeah. Okay. What would be the point of building something that big around?
A city?
Yeah. Seriously, 25 miles across? That's quite a feat of engineering, even in today's world.
Well, and again, if you have to think of it in terms of
25 miles. Did I say feet? Miles.
You have to think of it in terms too, Steve, that there's whole sections of that were filled in with water. If we're talking about Atlantis,
right?
So it's not 25 miles across, and taking the surface area of that sphere.
Well, I don't think anybody's disputing that man didn't make this.
No, I don't think man made
just the possibility that man built on top of it.
Right, may have had some type of, and the way Plato described it, Plato didn't describe any megalithic structures in Atlantis. And he had said, I guess, that from what I had gathered, that the construction methods, they did everything fairly simple. So if the ocean had come in, it's very probable that the entire city is been strewn across the desert.
It does look. I mean, if you look at the photo just as it sits right now, that where the sand is coming down inside the circle,
mm-hmm.
It would make sense that something caused. Now, obviously, there's winds, and I don't know how that's all set up and which way the winds blow and all that stuff. And I know in the desert changes daily because of the winds, but it does look like if water came in, that's where it came in and pushed all that sand in there, or pushed all that dirt in there.
I mean, like I said, I think it's an interesting little rabbit hole to go down. Is this thing, or was this used by man to create some type of a civilization in this spot on this geological structure? I don't know.
You and I have had conversations about, what's buried beneath the sands in the different deserts around the world.
Well, they find new stuff all the time.
And you have to remember that at one point in time, those deserts were not desert. That was there was rainfall in northern Africa. It was a completely different landscape than it is now.
According to the theories and legends, would Atlantis have been near Africa, in Africa, or I know there's a lot of different theories.
There's all kinds of different theories and ideas about what and who and when and where, and what I can tell you based on what I went through, there's so much speculation. There are things that say that it could be, and there are also a lot of things that say that it could not be.
Right.
So at this point, I think the only way we're ever going to find anything out is if they do some actual excavation there. If there's an actual archaeological dig there to try to find something out.
I'd obviously want to go on the side towards the ocean. That would make the most sense if everything washed back into the ocean over time.
Well, I don't know. I'm not an archaeologist. I'm not an armchair archaeologist either.
But I would assume that something has to be left there that would.
I'd like to be. I think I want to be just a jackass that goes on YouTube and goes to different places and makes wild speculations about shit. No, this proves it. Start doing that shit.
It's definitely an interesting structure. I just don't.
You don't think the Atlantis was there?
Nah.
You don't buy it. What do you think it was, Steve?
Geological formation.
No, I said, where do you think Atlantis?
Oh, Atlantis?
was?
I don't think it ever existed. To be
You don't
honest
think
with you,
Atlantis ever existed?
no. I think it's just folklore and legend.
On this show.
Do I believe that there's a lot of lost civilizations we haven't discovered? Absolutely. And is Atlantis maybe based on a bunch of those as a conglomeration? Probably. That's what I believe. So Atlantis itself, there wasn't actually a city that was sunk and all that bullshit. But
I like the concept of it.
yeah.
I like to think that it existed, but I mean, something that grand, and Plato happens to be the only person that was aware of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody else talks about it.
But there's a lot of things like that in what was it? Troy. They didn't think that the city of Troy existed. They thought that was a fictional bullshit thing that they made up, and then they found it. So when it comes to stuff like that, Plato was a fucking kid toucher too. Something that a lot of people don't talk about. So, maybe there was more issues there than we know.
What, was he convicted of that, or?
Just well known, they all liked boys, Matt. I'm pretty sure it's fairly well documented.
Is that what happened to Plato? The early Clintons got to him.
Yeah, he was taking some rides on Epstein again.
He was on Atlantis.
Maybe Atlantis was just his cover story.
That's right.
That's it.
That's where it was like fucking. What's that place that people go to have sex with outrageous?
I don't know.
People. It's in Asia. Thailand.
Oh,
is it like Thailand?
Yeah,
that's where Rick Dyer went, wasn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at
also
these.
well
We
documented.
talk about these
way.
ancient histories and old stories a lot, and one of the things we always go to is people lie throughout history. Like people make up bullshit. I don't know. And I don't know that anybody is ever really gonna know. There's some stuff we can find out and we can document.
We may have already found Atlantis, and we just don't know it. You know what I mean?
That could be a possibility too.
Because we find lost cities all the time, especially in places like this where they're buried by sand and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that maybe it wasn't sunk into the ocean. Maybe it was buried by sand.
It's a distinct possibility. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think that at some point in time we can get some answers to some of these questions. But I think more or less, we're just going to wind up having more questions over time. Unless somebody fucking builds a time machine and fucking zips back.
I'm ready.
Yeah, and starts fucking taking some notes.
Scared of squirrels, but no fear of time machines.
That's right. He's all in with time machines. Technology, Matt, good. Little animals, bad. Big animals like Bigfoot, he's all good.
Yeah, I'm fine with those.
It's the little tiny ones. They're the bastards.
Fucking capybaras, he fucking tames them things and walks them around his house.
Pet lion in the bathroom.
Is that the line?
Well, there's a smaller one. Very much like the capybara, but it's smaller
coming at you.
and more rabbit-like. And they have a couple of them at the local zoo in this exhibit area where they just let them run loose. And, I have felt the desire to kick one.
Wow. Yeah. Imagine.
Here's the difference between Matt and Chris. Matt has felt the desire to harm a baby animal. Chris actually follows through with it.
Chris has acted on it.
I don't hurt baby animal.
Don't start that rumor.
Jesus Christ.
I beg to differ.
There's an asshole in Las Vegas that'll do a show. AC fucking hurts animals. For fuck's sake. Yeah.
You said you'd like to get some answers to these questions, but if it was a made-up bullshit story, you'll never get an answer to any of it. Nobody.
Well, yeah, but again, we may, because we may find out at some point in time that these were just made-up bullshit stories.
Is somebody going to find Plato's Lost Scrolls or some shit?
You never know.
It could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Steve, you never know. They're finding shit all the time.
Right. That is true.
And, you know, but the problem in a lot of these places, like one of the biggest problems in Egypt is the Egyptologists, the old fucking assholes who don't want to let go of anything, are blocking anyone from doing any type of work there to try and find anything else because they don't want their theories shattered.
Right.
You know, so it becomes this big, you know, dick size contest, basically. About
They also don't want like people with money from other countries coming in and doing it.
Right. But, you know, there's a bunch of people. I know Robert Schoch is one of them, and he's a noted geologist who believe that there's another chamber inside the Sphinx that they will not try to go in and uncover. That the Egyptologists are blocking it, or Egypt, or there's something going on that's blocking it. And it has to do, with the fact that they don't want that narrative to change. And that's a weird fucking thing. Like, let's find out the truth instead of just spewing this false narrative for all history. I'd rather know the truth.
Maybe it's ancient aliens, and they just don't want you to know.
I'd be happy to fucking some kind of ancient aliens. I'd be fucking.
Or maybe it disproves that theory.
And I'd be happy with that. Just an answer would be nice. Like, what the fuck happened?
Maybe it was really...
Because I do subscribe to the idea that civilization has risen to a high state of technology before and then fallen.
Maybe the Sphinx was really...
Do I think they got to the point where we are? I don't know.
Maybe the Sphinx and all the pyramids were built in 1804, and they just want you to think they were over.
That could be too, Steve. Maybe it's a conspiracy.
I think it is.
Maybe
it is some sort of conspiracy.
Maybe the Earth is flat, Steve.
It is.
I think if anyone would know, it would be you.
I was in an airplane. I was in an airplane, and I tried my damnedest to see the curvature.
Yeah, did you?
I did not.
No curvature?
None.
The only curve was in your fucking turgid penis, right?
What? My what? I'm going to have to look up that word. How do you spell that?
Turgid. Turgid.
All right. I don't know what that means.
Look it up, Steve. Come on, right now. We're going to learn
sort
something.
of New England saying.
We're going to learn something. It's not a New England saying.
Yes, I bet it is.
It's not.
Originating in New England.
It does not originate in New England. What's turgid mean, Steve?
It means some stuff.
What's turgid mean? Come on now, Steve. Come on, give us the definition.
Swollen, distended, or congested. Well, my penis isn't congested.
It's got a cold.
It does, in fact, get swollen on occasion, but
it does blow this runny shit out of the end of it every so often.
Wow, I did not know that's what that meant. I'd never heard that word before.
That's right, Steve.
Thanks for
now
expanding my knowledge.
Look up figging.
No.
Well, look up what?
Figging.
Figging?
Figging.
I defer to the producer. She's
Figging.
Oh, I'm on this.
No, I'm not going to look it up.
That sounds a little scarier to look up.
I'm not going to look it up.
Figging?
No,
That's
don't do it. It's a
Someone
trap.
to look smart. It's
Ew,
like what we do
gross.
with- Oh, what the fuck?
Why did you do it?
Holy shit!
Why would you have me look that?
Because
Plug. Jesus Christ.
Because I looked it up one
That
day.
looks like every butt plug I've seen a girl
And I was
stick in her
like,
ass.
what
All
the
right,
fuck?
I got to do it.
So, like, I had to make somebody else do it to pass it on.
Why does
Wow.
Rid me of this
Learn something
curse.
every
Yeah, what
day.
is that thing?
Why does ginger root look like every butt plug I've ever seen?
It looks carved.
Why would you put a ginger root there?
You know you're
It's a
in for an
form of
interesting time,
punishment.
Steve.
It was used as a form of torture that turned into, like, a fetish.
Oh, yeah. That's usually how it
That
happens.
is not a good fetish.
Steve, I want you're in for a good time when the girl you're with reaches over to her little fucking drawer of shit,
Gets a paring knife out and starts carving a fucking piece of
pulls
ginger
out a
root.
fucking butt plug and fucking shoves it in her ass. Especially if it's got a little furry tail on the end of it, Steve. You know you're in for a fucking fun night.
No. None of that sounds appealing to me.
I'll never forget that. I was with this one chick one time, and she fucking pulls out a butt plug with a fucking raccoon tail on it, and I'm like, I think I gotta go.
What was the point of the tail?
I don't know, Steve.
You didn't.
I
Stick
don't
around
know
to
if
find
this
out,
was gonna
okay.
go into furry territory. I know she squirted when she came, and it was messy. That I do know.
I don't care. There's a tail involved. I can't. No.
Yeah, no. That's why do you think I bailed?
Well, yeah. I'm glad you did.
I mean, if you want to stick a butt plug in your ass with no tail, I mean, I'm down for that. The minute you add a tail, I'm out.
That's right.
Fucking tapping. Fucking out. Can't deal with that shit, Steve.
Wonder if they had those in Atlantis.
I bet you they did.
Well,
I
they
bet you
weren't
they had
advanced.
faking
Those.
in Atlantis. I
Well,
bet you
they
that was
were
the thing.
very advanced. I heard.
Well, they of course. Butt plugs are kind of advanced, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aliens do anal probe people, Steve. Maybe
Right.
we're missing out on something here. Maybe the whole butt plug anal probe thing, it's how we reach another level of consciousness. Steve, you need to get a butt plug.
No, that's
We
not happening.
need to explore this.
That's exit
Could
only.
you see Steve trying to fucking...
No. Why would you even imagine that?
I imagine you like wrestling with yourself with it in your head, like,
You know,
Come on, Steve, it's for the show.
it's
It's
well,
for the show.
I see that.
No, you still out?
What's that?
I said you still out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, you did call yourself the talent.
I am the talent.
Yeah. Well, so fucking show us your talent. Correct.
That is not a talent. Well, maybe it is for some people, but not for me.
It depends on what you can do with the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her plans were. I didn't find out. That's all I can tell you.
I don't. Yeah, that's a little
That's not
beyond
the
weird.
only time I've had a girl reach and grab one of those. Just none of the other
With
ones.
a tail?
Those are not where tails happen on animals with tails.
They don't come out of the ass?
No.
Oh.
They come
I'm
out
so
in proximity.
confused. I thought I was going to get into a fucking
I think it,
animal fetish.
I feel somewhat partially responsible for this conversation, and it's making me feel really bad.
somewhat partially
I feel
responsible.
really bad because you hate hearing me talk about my sex life.
Yeah. As soon as you went, like, with the squirting comment.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of out at that point myself.
Well, listen,
Fuck that.
there are some
I
things
wouldn't
that
do
you
that.
experience in your life that you should share with other people. And the fact, like, I felt like I was playing fucking water sports for an hour with a woman when I didn't think that that was what was going to happen. That's an interesting story. People want to know, Steve.
No.
They want to know.
Well, maybe other people.
I think you should try this figging thing out.
It's not going to happen.
I'm gonna ship him a ginger root.
You can start with a carrot.
Yeah. Start small, Steve. Work your way up.
Yeah.
Take your time. Start with a
Nothing-
carrot. Work maybe do a zucchini. Shave that fucker down a little bit.
None of that stuff is going to happen. None of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was hoping.
But what if okay. I'm just saying.
What
Like,
happened to this show?
how many uses can you get out of a piece of ginger before that fucker snaps off?
Ooh, that.
Can you imagine like snapping something off in your ass back in the day?
Man.
Why would it matter what day it was?
Ooh, especially if
Back
it
in the
Well,
day.
the whole thing
ginger root.
the whole thing about figging is it burns really bad. Like that was the whole point. So it's causing pain. It's like how
Yes.
much pain tolerance do you have, and if you get off on pain and all that stuff. But if it was like stuck up in there, like, okay, I'm done now.
That'd be the best. You go to the local witch doctor. Doc, I've got a piece of ginger stuck up my ass. Figging again, huh? The things we fucking learn on this show. It's amazing. Maybe that's what the fucking Richat structure is. Somebody tried to fig the
It's kind of swollen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it looks like a fucking prolapsed asshole. Not that I know what that looks like, Steve.
I've heard enough about what you know of things.
Steve,
For
what are you
reading.
afraid of?
I'm afraid you're going to keep talking about this
In my
shit.
sex life.
I can handle it.
Steve, you know what I found out really young?
I'm not sure. I want to know.
That either there are some that there are some women that have hair on their nipples,
Right? Yeah.
or I had a short stint with a transgendered person. One of the two. One of those two things happened, Steve.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was just a woman with hair on her nipples.
Yeah, I've heard of that
Freak you out.
anomaly. Yes. I'd rather talk about a woman's hairy nipples.
I was
than
taken aback. Like I was like 20 something, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I thought this was like an
Did you get
anomaly.
the tweezers out?
No, I didn't know what to do. I was in shock. I was a fucking young, unknowing, stupid ass Chris. I was like, yeah, there's hair on them things. What do I do with that? The fucking same thing you do with all the other ones, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You get past that hair. Come on.
Yeah, no, I like fucking full bush, Steve. Shove that thing in my face.
You know we have.
Katie, do you want to tap yet?
We have a woman on the show now.
I didn't say Katie's.
Whoa!
We weren't even thinking about going there.
I was just saying, this may not be what she signed up for.
She listens to the show every fucking week. Pretty sure she knew what you signed up for.
I was well aware of what I was risked for here.
At any time, we could hear shit about Chris's life. We don't want to. Well, Steve, I when you become single,
I don't plan on doing that.
and you start dating, it's a strange time to be dating, Steve. You meet strange people.
No, I never did.
You meet scary people. I'm sorry, Steve, that you didn't get a chance to experience life in the way that I have.
No, I'm grateful that I didn't.
Oh, believe me, there's a few of them you wouldn't have wanted to miss.
Well, I'm pretty sure that any experience that you've had with the opposite gender is something I'd probably like to miss.
No.
Now, any experiences you've had with the same gender, he's all aboard
No,
for.
I don't want that either.
Completely.
Those
Nope.
were your words, Steve.
Steve, what if there
No,
were
that
two
was not my words.
members of the opposite gender involved?
Because you were involved, Chris?
Steve, I'm talking
Something
about if you
fucked
were to
up.
experience the same type of thing, but with you, not
But
me.
Because no, I understand that you wouldn't be there.
So you're telling me that the idea of two women sucking on your dick it's unfathomable. You can't. No, that's awful. It's horrible to you.
Remember the boundaries we spoke about when I started doing
I'm
this
just
show?
asking, Steve. I'm asking a question. I'm not trying to ruin your marriage. I'm just saying, any fucking sane man, So you can sit there and tell me all day long that you love your wife, and I believe you. I know you do. I've met your wife. What I'm saying is,
And she'll never be the same.
to say that's something that you would never want to experience. I cry fucking foul completely.
I'll tell you what. I respectfully decline to answer your question as posted.
Oh, Steve, you're the best.
I said respectfully, so that makes it all good.
I don't know about you most times, but you're the best. It's been a fucked up week for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a straight
Tell.
week. All in all. Things get fucked up, Steve. You gotta roll with the punches.
Mm.
You know. I did have a talk over the weekend with Holly, and it looks like we will be starting the Slip Into the Night fairly soon. We're probably looking at Wednesdays. Seems she has a short day on Wednesday. So that will be the easiest night for her to be able to do it. And we're gonna try to, delve into that. So that'll be coming out very soon. I'm also looking into doing the news more of a, regular basis, and without the other guys. So that's something I'm considering doing. Just
Meaning us.
right? Yeah, meaning you guys.
We suck.
Yeah, you guys.
We're not worthy.
But just putting out like the news, a few news.
Like the news is my thing.
The news is your thing, Steve, on the show.
This is a whole different news thing.
Yeah. Still
right.
40.
Without me.
But yeah, without you.
I see.
Without you.
Thanks.
Steve, you got too much going on.
Yeah.
The fuck am I going to fucking get in touch with you every day to do the fucking news?
Oh, this is an everyday thing?
That's my plan.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's what fuck.
Oh, work involved? Fuck that.
Steve, I one time I went out in the woods. I came across a baby Sasquatch. I threw it at its mother.
I don't doubt it. You've been known to do shit like that.
Get the fuck away from me. Yeah.
I think with a baby Sasquatch, though, it would probably be the appropriate action.
To throw it at the mother.
Well, just to get away from that situation. With a bird, the bird's tiny.
Steve, I
wasn't
dare
a fucking
you.
bald eagle.
I challenge you to fucking go through the same experience that I had. I challenge you.
Okay, next time there's a baby bird in my driveway that's crying for hours on
We're
end.
starting a new viral sensation, the baby bird challenge.
Go save a baby bird.
Didn't you learn, though, in kindergarten? I mean, even prior to kindergarten, my parents told me, never touch a baby bird. Never. Didn't you learn that?
I don't give a fuck what they say.
Yeah, it's actually bullshit, by the way.
Well, it's still something that lives with you for the rest of your life. Don't touch a baby bird. Now we know why they really told us that. It wasn't because the bird, well, yeah, in the end, the bird probably did die.
I don't think
After the
I think
violent,
the bird's fine.
after
think-
the violent end.
Fucking we can
the
rebuild
throat.
him. We can make him fucking faster, stronger.
They're
Right,
designed to
bird.
fly. I mean,
That one wasn't.
Maybe not. But I think he survived.
You keep on thinking that, Chris.
I do.
And yes, I am the least master.
This week at least.
Fucking the least of everything. That's what I tell women before I go into the bedroom. I'm the least master. This is going to be the least pleasing experience of your life.
Let's go to resident bird expert, Katie Evans. I enjoy how you've sat here in silence while we talk about this bird fiasco. I'm aware that you have pet ducks.
Ooh. Look, are they really
Well,
birds?
I mean, they live pretty wild, but yeah.
Are they evil or not? Will they
They
attack
are
you?
actually.
Yeah. Okay. There you
They
go.
don't attack humans, but in general, they're total assholes for sure.
Oh yeah, they're
Have you ever picked up one of their babies and thrown it at one of the mothers?
They don't even have babies. They're like such a domesticated bird that they just drop their eggs and walk away. Like
See?
it takes human intervention to
What kind of
rebreed
asshole
them.
does that?
But that's just one species.
They're terrible.
It's not the whole. You're generalizing.
Well, it's the
that.
Peking ducks. It's the ducks we eat. That's why they have like lost all their real true.
Well, that's
Mother
why they're
Nature.
assholes. We eat them.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. We eat
Let me
them.
tell you a
They're
story.
I'd be an
nice to me
asshole,
because I
too.
feed them.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a story that was passed on to me by my great grandmother.
Great Grammy. I love her story.
Great grandma. So they had this goose.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. I almost made a mishap there, Matt, because I know like I know you have like a grandparent somewhere
Right.
that's been fucked up.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this a fucked up one? Or?
Well, they're dead now. So it doesn't matter. No. This is
This
True
was the one that
story.
was on the straight and
the
narrow.
great grandmother that actually raised me as a
Okay,
child.
okay.
This is an honest story. They had a goose at their house.
Oh, them motherfuckers.
I mean, she grew up on like not a farm, but they had animals. And this goose, whenever newborn chickens were hatched, would go and grab a baby chicken,
Mhm.
go over to the wash tub, hold it underwater until it was dead, and then swallow it.
Yeah, buddy.
And that makes the
Wow.
goose an asshole.
Yeah. Killing baby birds and eating them is kind of an asshole thing to do.
Have you ever eaten chicken, Matt?
Here in Ohio.
I'm not a chicken. I don't
You're not
kill
a
baby
goose.
humans and eat them.
No. But a goose is not a chicken either.
It's a bird.
Yeah. It's-
I like Chinese food, not eating an Asian baby.
That's right. You'll become a Wendigo if you eat an Asian baby.
Okay. Well,
Maybe you'll become a Yeti because they're Asian. I don't know. These things, I don't understand them.
Well, it's kind of border. I mean, Asian and Russian, like they're so close right there in that area. And like, what are the Mongolians?
They're just another one. It's a confusion, man. It's all confusion. Because there's no way to really truly understand it all. What happened to the human race? We all want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
I do want to know.
We don't understand it. I think the fact of the matter is, if we really understood it, our fucking heads would pop off our shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be like, what?
It would be one of those things where like we're all wrong about everything.
Yeah. That's how it would go down. Exactly. We're all wrong. That's how, and I totally buy that. But the history of man, I mean, it's one of those things I'd love to be able to just find a way to go back and see it all. To have an actual view of what happened.
Well, they talk about how like, the winners of the war write the history books or whatever. And that's true. Like there are things being published in current history books that were not the way that we were taught history whenever we were younger.
Oh, yeah.
How many times has that happened though?
A lot.
Like that's probably been going on forever, I would assume. So like there's no telling what bullshit we think is true that's just like completely
That's
not.
just crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I completely buy that theory. Because is so much of this that's just gone, and what we find today is scraps and pieces. And you're right. The people who win wars rewrite the history, or or more to the point, they take over the history.
Right.
And it's fucking
And tell things from their perspective.
The Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
That had tons of information about the past. Burned by the Romans, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking love them Romans. By Jesus. Just coming in and thinking they can take it all over. Where are they now? That's right.
I think they're still in Rome.
Yeah. They're not the massive empire that they were, Steve. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with America.
Oh, it will.
When is this fucking thing just gonna fucking go?
It will. We may not be around to see it, but it
right. No, I agree with you. We probably won't, but it's just fascinating that, you know, all of these great civilizations have risen and all have fallen. So it's a matter
will.
of
We're well on the path of falling. That's
it's
for
a
sure.
matter of fucking time.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the division that we've created with ourselves is going to do us in more than anything. But that's
You
something we just allow.
Well, one thing that I'm learning about currently, by having an interest in other cultures and stuff.
Erectile dysfunction?
No, other cultures. And like getting information
Yeah, it works great.
from people that actually live in those places. America, along with other powerful countries, write their own narrative about what other places are like.
Yes.
That's completely like not what they're actually like.
Right. So I've listened to, and I go to him all the time, but I'm a huge fan of his podcast. And by the way, I had somebody say, like, on Facebook today, say that, you know, I'm thinking about it's 5 years after Robin Williams died, and I'm thinking there's nobody great like Robin Williams or Ali, or, you know, there's nobody with any staying power anymore. And I'm like, dude, maybe you're just old and you're romanticizing about things that you found in your youth and that you can't see anything good about now. Because Joe Rogan exists, Maynard James Keenan exists, Dave Chappelle exists. Like, these are people that aren't going away. And he had the audacity to say to me, you think that Robin Williams wasn't as big as Joe Rogan? And I'm like, motherfucker, he has the biggest podcast on the planet right now. He commentates on UFC fights, and he's a comedian. I think he's in the ballpark. But, yeah.
Ain't nobody who doesn't know who Joe Rogan is.
Yeah. So to say that he's not, you know, a big figure it just fucking baffles me. But
that doesn't have to take anything away from what Robin Williams was.
No. And I even said to him, I said, you know, listen, I was a fan of the man. I'm more of a fan of his movies than his comedy, but because he was a joke stealer. He was a known joke stealer. I loved him as an actor. But anyway, back to my point. Joe had on, oh, fuck, I can't think of his name right now. Henry Rollins. Why that fucking slipped my fucking brain, I don't know. But Henry Rollins was talking about going to Iraq. No, Iran. Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Going to Iran. And he, you know, went there for like a vacation. And, you know, one of the things that Rogan was asking, you know, is it as bad as, you know, they make it out to be? He's like, no, these are just people living their fucking lives. They're just like you and I. You know, I broke bread with these people, had drinks with these people, spoke to these people. They're just like us. But we get this narrative that gets told to us that these, you know, and this happened to me when I was a child. I will never forget this. Sitting at my uncle's kitchen table and having him holler at me because I didn't understand why Russian children were evil. And he's like, communists. They're communists, Chris. You know what communists will do? They'll strap bombs to those kids and send them after you.
Did that ever happen?
No,
It's never happened to me.
Yeah, I haven't had it happen yet.
but that's what I was being told when I was a child.
But
My
that's
gran-
because that's what the media was telling him.
My grandmother, and she was very anti-Asian because of World War II and whatever. And then my uncle married a Japanese girl, a wonderful girl. She still is. It changed my grandmother's mind, obviously, but for years, that's what I was told, that they were bad people, Japs. You know, the Japs.
Yeah, they're horrible people.
Yeah,
And
they weren't. They're not. They're
and
great
that
people.
stuff carries over.
Yeah.
You know, the horrible thing is these people who inundate their children with this rhetoric so that their children grow up with these mentalities. I had a friend when I was younger. I didn't realize it until I was much older how much of a racist he was. And I tried for the longest time to like just push it aside and be like, you're his friend, man. Just, you know, accept him for who he is. And it just got to a point where I was like, I can't. You know, when I saw him teaching his girlfriend's children basically how to be racist, I was like, yeah, I'm tapping out.
My grandmother also told me that Puerto Ricans were bad people. They all carried knives. That was her thing.
They are good with knives, Steve.
They may be good with knives.
I mean, you know, they can shit on me for that stereotype. They're amazing with knives, those Puerto Rican people.
She was, but she was. It was very derogatory. My entire. So I grew up
If
with.
I ever do a superhero comic, there has to be a Puerto Rican who does something.
I don't want to call my grandmother racist. She's passed now, but she was.
Why not?
You know, she really was. And that was the mentality we grew up with in this country for many, 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 many years. And hopefully that's changing. But, and I've seen a lot of advancements in that, but it's still, a lot of people think those things, you know?
Oh, it's a very, it's been a strange time for me growing up because I grew up in a quasi-racist family. And I say quasi-racist because that's the only way I can describe them. And I had to, and also very homophobic. And I'm a very progressive person. I don't believe any of that bullshit. I took a lot of shit growing up because I believed in these ideas where like that it was not good.
Yeah, me too.
You know, you can't. No, like I said, you know, I'm sitting there with my uncle, and I'm like, the Russian kids, they're just kids. No, they're communists, Chris. Fucking communists. You know, and meanwhile, you know, you probably, you know, when our enemies were probably the same way about us.
Well,
And
of
can you
course they
blame them?
No. But
So-
like, therefore you can't blame us for being that way about them.
Well, see, this is where it gets stupid, Matt. This is where I have the problem. Everybody doing the wrong thing isn't the right thing.
No, it's not.
And it's like all this stuff that's going on right now. Wow, look at the Democrats now advocating for violence, and it's just one. It's like, no, let's just fucking do the right thing.
I know that's what I was saying. Like, it's, you know, people base opinions on the information they have,
Right.
and we're getting the wrong information. We're not getting the full picture. We're getting the biased point of view, and you know, the agenda-driven stuff from both sides, all sides, any side, all the time. I mean, like the thing Steve was saying about the Japanese. No, we know that not all Japanese people are bad or horrible. They're just people like everybody else.
That's right. Look at George Takei.
The day after
your
Pearl
dick
Harbor,
sucks.
what would you think?
Oh yeah, no. Hell, dude, after 9/11, I'm pretty sure at one point I said, just fucking turn the desert to glass.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said it at one point.
Yeah.
You know? You're pissed off, you say some things.
And a lot of people just get stuck with that anger, though.
You're right. People do. Look at fucking oh fuck, I can't even think of his name now. Dennis, comedian.
Larry?
No, not Larry. Used to do the Weekend Update. Miller.
Yes.
Look at what happened with Dennis Miller.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dennis Miller is still a funny motherfucker. You know, while I may not agree with his political ideals, I've listened to some of his recent comedy, and that guy's taken they took a big shit on him when he went Republican. And not rightfully so, because he's still a funny son of a bitch. But that happened to him. You know, when have you even heard about Dennis Miller recently?
Oh, you don't?
Exactly.
Wait, Dennis Miller went Republican?
Oh yeah. After 9/11, he went off the deep end.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And then he was fucking demonized for it.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I'm one of those people, while I may not agree with him, I still find his comedy to be fucking hilarious. And I can appreciate that.
Sure.
You know, Steve and I, even though we're on the same side on a lot of things, we disagree on a lot. Matt and I disagree on a lot, but we tend to agree on a lot more than we disagree on. You know, and it just baffles me, this demonization that's going on with people. And people like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, like Dax. They're just feeding it. They're feeding this hate of one another. And it's not helping.
I think when somebody thinks they're on the right side of a situation and 100% totally believes they're on the right side of the situation, they think by pushing that agenda, because that's all it is really, on you, that they're doing the right thing. It's totally not right.
Yeah.
It's totally the opposite.
But I literally I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna unfriend you because I can't deal with this anymore. I can't see this anymore. And he fucking went out of his way to message me this weekend. It's like, seriously? My response to him was, fuck off, Dax. Like, really, dude? Like, I got out of your way. You can fucking spew all your bullshit. You can talk about how Democrats are the end of the fucking world. I don't give a shit anymore. I think you're wrong in the way you're going about things, but you know, have at it. Enjoy. We'll see. You know, we'll see where it gets us, which is going to be nowhere. We'll continue to do this pendulum back and forth bullshit that we do in this country. And why? I've never understood why we do that. That overreaction that this country does to everything. It's beyond my capabilities of understanding.
Because not everybody can be like us, Chris.
Yeah.
We are.
I guess the fuck so.
We are the enlightened.
You're enlightened, all right, Steve. Would you pick up a fucking table lamp?
I don't know.
Steve, you got any news, buddy?
Oh shit! Yeah, let me get to that.
Yeah. Give me some.
Are you gonna play the news? Thing?
No, I can't.
Why not?
That's the goddamn thing. It won't work, Steve.
Fuck.
I mean, I can try. Oh no, restart required still.
Oh,
Let me do
go
it.
ahead,
Steve.
restart. I'm
No.
waiting. No?
Yeah, I'll restart. Dump out of the fucking thing. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back to play the music.
News. Okay. I don't do as good as Richard.
No.
But, I try.
You don't.
Can we just bring Richard in and he? No.
No.
Week. No, Week. Week.com. There's some dude named Bob Philby has spent 30 years logging Bigfoot sightings up and down the West Coast because, you know, there's a lot of Bigfoots over there.
There are.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me.
He has never seen one himself, though. But he knows where they've been.
There's lots of them.
Sure. In the late 80s, the Los Angeles, of course, Los Angeles native, there's a lot of Bigfoots in Los Angeles, trained neuroscientists.
That's where they hide, Steve.
His resume includes stints as
Behind
a
Hollywood.
commercial artist, antique shop owner, neuroscientist, and a ride operator at Disneyland. This is the kind of guy I can get behind. He began meticulously mapping Sasquatch sightings across the West Coast, beginning with Northern California, where he lived off the grid for 20 years. Starting to make more sense to me.
Who is this, Jeff Kelly?
No, Bob Philby.
Bob Philby.
Yeah, Robert Philby.
You're off by a little.
You familiar with Robert
Well,
Philby?
I heard the off the grid for 20 years, but still had time to be a neuroscientist and an antique shop owner. And I got
Ride
confused for a
operator.
minute.
Don't forget ride operator for Disneyland. Don't forget that part. Oh, and commercial artist.
Right.
Took him through and off the grid for 20. Man, he packed a lot of stuff into the non
I was a
20 years.
clown, stage magician.
Yeah. It took him 3 decades, but Philby, who moved to the Rogue River 2 years ago, finally got around to finishing his Oregon map, which he sells as an illustrated double-sided poster at Bigfoot conventions and through his Etsy store. There we go. It features over 1,000 sightings across the state, along with an annotated guide to what he considers the most credible reports.
Ooh.
Yes. And then they do some interview with the guy.
Unless he's got Matt Knapp's report in there, I don't want to talk to him.
I never had a California Bigfoot report.
So fuck him.
Never?
Ever.
If you wish to order one of Bob Philby's maps,
We don't.
go to Etsy.com.
Hey, what are you doing?
Shop.
You don't promote other people's businesses on here.
Why not?
We're not trying to help this dude out. What
Well,
has he done for us,
he's trying
man?
to scratch out a
Is this
living.
a commercial?
He's trying. It sounds like it. Yes.
You wait until I turn on those fucking ads on fucking.
You let Chris make those calls, okay?
Bob says, when asked what reason would humans really need a Bigfoot type mythological creature, he says a mythological Bigfoot serves to
Bigfoot?
remind man.
Is that a fucking German Bigfoot?
I don't know.
Bigfurter.
Bigfoot.
A mythological Bigfoot. You fuckers. Motherfuckers. A mythological Bigfoot serves to remind man of the wild and unknown. And
Where you guys
wonder
going?
and
Going Bigfoot
respect,
looking?
and for what he doesn't know, perhaps akin to worship of God.
We're gonna go find us one of them Bigfoots.
I'm done with that story. Fuck it. Oh shit! What happened? One of them went away.
Steve, which one?
What? I know. I didn't copy and paste again.
Which one?
Not now.
They
Oh,
should all be there.
The good
Steve.
one. The good one went away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you can
The
bring it
best
back.
one. I'll
Fine.
wait. It'll load. This one's from NBC New York. Wow.
Ooh, NBC New York.
There's a house in New Jersey, apparently. The Watcher House. You familiar with that?
No.
The Watcher House? Well, let's read. Union County Clerk's Office. Wait, I messed up. I missed some. Oh, the owners of a house considered by some as one of the creepiest in New Jersey, excuse me, thanks to a series of spooky letters sent by an apparent anonymous stalker alleging the house is being watched, sold the sprawling 6-bedroom property at a $500,000 loss, according to a published report. The Watcher House, at the center of an unsolved criminal investigation in Westfield, sold in July, according to Bloomberg.
Did Corey
Citing-
Haim have anything to do with this?
He's the stalker. I don't know. Citing a deed filled with Union County's clerk's office, News 4 also obtained a copy of the deed. Derek and Maria Brodus, yeah, that's it, who bought the 1905 Dutch Colonial revival, in June 2014, and never moved in, sold it to a couple for $959,360. The couple had bought the dream house in Westfield only to quickly move out after it turned into a nightmare when they started receiving creepy and sometimes threatening letters from an anonymous stalker. The stalker, known as the Watcher, claimed his family owns the property and has been watching the home for nearly a century.
I'm watching you.
Yes. The couple even filed a lawsuit against the former owners of the Westfield home, saying they knew about the Watcher before they sold them the home in 2014.
I watch your wife when she masturbates with her butt plug and a fucking tail on it.
a judge throughout.
Not that kind of watcher. This is serious shit. You need to be paying attention. This is some scary shit.
Yeah, some dude writing letters to people.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't some dude. This is for real. Like, I've been looking into it. The previous owners really did sell the house because of it and knew about it and didn't disclose the information. There really is like an unsolved investigation and everything. Like, this is legit, man. This is some scary shit.
So no butt plugs with tails on them.
No butt plugs with tails.
Okay, we can
Well, maybe.
scratch.
Why should you make light of that?
We don't know.
Why are you making light of this, Chris?
No, I'm just saying. Just read. Just
The
read
real
the
thing?
letters.
Read, Steve.
I don't know if it has any of the letters in
It
here.
does.
Not in this article, it doesn't.
That's the one that Matt sent me. So
Scroll down, Steve.
Where should I scroll down to?
The letters.
I don't see any.
Steve, do I
Oh.
do I have to take this over for you, Steve?
I got it.
Oh, now you got it.
Maybe. Oh, here it is. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. The first letter read, according to New York Magazine.
What's the second coming?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Exactly.
My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It's now my time. Do you believe the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out, the letter went on to say. It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways
Too
of
bad
the
there's not a
house.
return address.
Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be. Very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream, one letter read, according to the outlet.
Jesus.
Isn't that fucking scary? Doesn't that
That's a little
sound
bit
like
scary,
some horror
yeah.
movie shit?
I'm not sure it would cause me to move out. It might cause me to put in some
Why isn't the
cameras.
FBI on this? What fucking Criminal Minds? What the fuck? Need a
They'd probably
profile.
put some cameras in to make sure that nobody was actually invading the house and shit, but I don't know if it would cause me to move out. I have to pull up that last story again. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm watching.
No,
a
I
little
can't.
video. I'm watching a little video on it. The silver-haired neighbor to the house. She's quite a
Do you
look.
think it was her?
Maybe it's her.
Yeah, I bet you.
She's
it's
walking
her.
a little dog. I don't like people with little dogs, but she had a nice body on her for an older lady.
Oh, story. Space.com. Remember this dude who tried to fly his
I
rocket?
remember a dude, but
Yeah, he tried to the flat Earth dude that tried to fly the rocket. And
oh yeah,
that
dumbass.
didn't work out. Yeah, dumbass. Mad Mike Hughes. Mad
Yes.
Mike Hughes.
Yes.
A flat earther, rocket builder, and daredevil who previously launched himself only 1,875 feet into the air on a homemade rocket, will attempt to launch himself much higher into the atmosphere this time on
Good.
Sunday, August 11th. Ooh, good. Oh, that's today.
Oh,
The
Maybe he
attempt
made
will be the attempt will be filmed by the Science Channel for the upcoming news series Homemade Astronauts, because you know there's a lot of those.
oh, look at this guy crash into the planet.
There's a lot of homemade astronauts out there apparently. In March 2000,
He's
because it's a
filming
whole
this for the
series.
new season of Jackass.
In March 2018, and we spoke about this at that time, after a few failed attempts, Hughes successfully, launched aboard his rocket and survived the trip, landing via parachute. The then 62-year-old Hughes walked away with some soreness and a compressed vertebrae, he told Space.com. In the upcoming launch attempt, Hughes will aim for an even greater height, 5,000 feet.
Shoots deploy. You fucking feel some compression on your spine. Let me tell you.
We haven't got to the good part yet. Hughes will lift off aboard a refurbished, improvised version of the steam-powered rocket he built last year.
He's got a guy in the back shoveling coal into the fucking furnace.
He told
Oh,
Space.com.
we gotta get out of the atmosphere.
He told Space.com that he's using steam to propel his rocket because it's both inexpensive and relatively simple. There's no fuel cost. It's water, he said.
Oh.
Homemade astronauts, which is set to
Like
premiere.
rocket you get when you're a kid and you pump it up.
Yeah.
Homemade astronaut. Actually, a good idea, I guess.
This jackass could save some money and just like buy a ticket on a plane that will take him up there.
Right.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't prove anything because, they probably put camera.
Oh yeah.
They probably
Okay,
put-
so like if he gets up there and sees the curvature of the Earth, he's going to come back down and be like, "Oh, everybody, we're wrong." No, he's going to
gonna
lie.
say- here's what he's going to say. They put screens in the windows to make it look like there's.
No, I mean I'm talking about in his rocket.
On his rocket.
Say. He's going to do exactly what every other flat earther does. Well, we're going to have to do this test again. We're not exactly getting the results that we're expecting. Yeah, you're getting the results.
I realized that at that altitude, the pressure on my eyes, which are actually spherical, causes it to look curved. Or he'll be like, "Oh man, we were wrong," and the rest of the flat earthers will be like, "They got to him."
Yep. That's the cult of the fucking new age right there.
Oh wait, hold on a second.
What?
Oh, that was 2017. Remember back when he did it before that the government shut him down? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Some sort of government cover-up shit going on there.
Yeah, I remember that. But he still did his launch.
Yeah, he did eventually
So
do
fuck
it.
him.
So I'm going to do a little Google search right now to see if he's actually launched yet.
Do that, Steve. Find out.
If he survived the trip, because that would
He
be
could just do a
We need to
GoPro and a weather balloon.
right.
Yeah. Damn Skippy. Hell, he could put a GoPro and a
But-
fucking goddamn helium balloon.
It does
Let it go
not
up
look
high enough.
like. It does not look like he's launched yet. So we don't know of his untimely demise.
He's still pumping.
Next
Okay.
week, we'll let you know what happened to asshole.
He's got some teenagers out there pumping it.
In his next attempt, he'll build a giant slingshot.
He's like going backwards. He started with a rocket with rocket fuel. Now
Yeah, he's like
going to
Wile E.
steam.
Coyote.
Fucking steampunk flat earth.
I've got my Acme spring shoes this time.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Why did Wile E. Coyote realize that everything he bought from Acme was a failed product, a bad product? Why didn't he ever realize that?
Why do we all still shop at Walmart? These questions may never
Well,
be.
Walmart carries brand name stuff that's good stuff, like Sony.
It was a
you know.
joke, Steve.
I know, but I mean, it's not all Chinese garbage. Not that Chinese make all garbage. I mean, they make some good stuff too.
Maybe he shopped where you shop, and Acme was like Goodwill.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe he just didn't have money to go anywhere else.
That could be.
They did live in the desert with no jobs.
Yes,
So, where did he get his money?
the Fremen.
What's that?
Licensing deals.
No,
He sold spice.
I thought maybe he was a drug dealer on the side and we just didn't know about it or something.
He was sponsored by Acme.
Ah, that's it.
Wile E. Coyote screaming, "Father,
He wasn't a very
the
good.
sleeper has awakened!"
He wasn't a very good spokesperson. But anyway, fellas and ladies, that is the news.
There's only one.
Okay, lady.
On that note, this has been the Fortean Slip, episode 92, the Atlantis of the desert. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. There were a few of them on the last show.
A few?
Yeah, I guess they didn't like me throwing a bird. It was probably the PETA people, Steve.
Yeah, because we have a lot of those that listen
The
to our show.
comment, subscribe, check out our good friend Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and youtube.com/cryptid tales. As always, he is back in action, monetized. His dick is
now.
hard, so women on the internet, look the fuck out. youtube.com/parrotbreakdown. Phil Poling is back. You can check out the Sweetwater Legend if you go to Ohio. I don't recommend it, but you can.
You've been there.
But
Yeah.
you
It
know,
wasn't that bad. It wasn't horrible.
no.
I was legendary.
You are legendary, Steve. I'll give you that.
So, like, if you and your wife park in the same parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
How do you walk to the right car?
Well, there are subtle differences.
Her car has a vagina, Matt.
Wow.
No, her car is newer. Number one, it has a.
Her car sachets down the road.
It has the. See, she has the key fob with the auto lock thing on it.
Steve's is the
Mine
one
does
with the
not.
wide stance.
It's impossible to mix up those cars, even though they look identical. Hers has a backup camera. Mine does not.
If you listen to us on the podcast version, the audio only, you can check that out at anchor.fm/the Fortean slip. And you can check out our good friend, Richard Allen, Bigfootin' with Keith and Colin on Facebook. I'm not going to bother to read that link with all those fucking numbers.
763-752-10460192.
There you go. That one. And as always, check out our good friend Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and youtube.com/Dred Funn. He's at the something con right now.
Yeah, one of those cons.
The Fanaticon in Ottawa. Yeah, Fred's doing great. He's got a lot on his plate. I know he's been pretty stressed out lately, but we've always been super supportive of Fred, and I hope that he does very well in everything he does, because I know that the cons have been working out really well for him. The
pros haven't.
Yeah, the pros haven't worked at all. It's only been
Con!
Con! We can't get if only we could have had an echo on that one, Matt.
I know.
And next week we'll be back with another show. I do not have any ideas up in my brain right now. I'll talk with the boys and Katie after the show.
I will be visiting Loveland, so maybe we can do the Frogman.
Ooh,
but that's in a couple weeks.
Frogman, I like that idea.
I'll just be driving through.
All right. Well, maybe you should stop.
See the Frogman in person.
Yeah, sure. Hang out, have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And on that note, if you know any flat Earth people, have them spayed or neutered. And see ya.